And thank you very much for joining the Washington Hospitality Restaurant Rally Reimbursement webinar. We appreciate you joining today and giving your time, and really appreciate you participating in the program. With me today is Anthony Anton, CEO and President of the Washington Hospitality Association. And we also have Sara Garner. She is an economic development specialist with the Tacoma Pierce County Economic Development Department. So, hello. Joe Bushnell is on the line. Joe Bushnell is in Government Affairs for Tacoma Pierce County. Welcome, Joe.
Thank you. With the Hospitality Association.
The Hospitality Association. And my name is Jack Coe. I'm in Communications for the Washington Hospitality Association and the Seattle Restaurant Alliance and Seattle Hotel Association. Before we go ahead and get started, though, I think as maybe a few more people join in, I think that it would be great to do some due diligence to kind of, if Anthony and Sara and Joe, if you could share a little bit, and Anthony, I'll hand it off to you, a little bit about how this restaurant rally came together. And it really was a partnership and collaboration of a number of organizations. And I think that would be helpful for our restaurateurs to hear.
You bet. I got a call from members of the county council's representatives and said, we really want to help restaurants. We see our community hurting. We want to set aside CARES dollars and how can we best make that happen? And I said, the best way to do that is to get in touch with operators in your local area because every community is a little bit different. So the association, including with Joe and Tomorrow's help, pulled together 5 to 6 operators and met with members of the county council's team, an economic development group, Betty Capistrani and others, and developed this program. And they said, this is how we could best help get people excited about dining in Pierce County again, rally people around restaurants, provide financial help, and do it as part of our community. And really, I thought it was a creative approach. It's the only one like it I've seen in the state. I think it really did get the community talking about how important restaurants are in our community and the love people have for their restaurants. And so kudos to the members who developed the idea. And then Sara and Betty and the phenomenal team at the county took this idea and put it into operational mode and executive mode and ran with what they thought we said could help the members. And so talk about the way it should work, just a collaborative. This is our community. We're in it together. Let's find right ideas. We are blessed to have the team that we have in Pierce County. But I'll tell you, it's not this way everywhere. And when you have people that really care about their small business like this, it's an honor to work with them. So, Sara, to you and all your team, we can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you. It's been our pleasure, and the partnership has been awesome. So we appreciate that.
It really has been amazing to watch, and the tremendous amount of work that you and your colleagues have put into this, as well as some of the other partners. Joe, I know you've been a part of this as well, and it's just really been amazing to see. Joe Bushnell is our government affairs professional in the Tacoma Pierce County area who is working closely with restaurateurs. And Joe, I don't know if you want to say a few words as well.
Yeah, and I definitely want to echo everyone's comments here. This is truly a collaborative effort. And to quote Pierce County Executive Dan Meyer, here in Pierce County, we try to do it the Pierce County way, and the Pierce County way is about being collaborative. Tacoma Pierce County Chamber, Travel Tacoma Mount Rainier, and obviously the Pierce County government. This wouldn't have happened without all these partners working together, and also really the restaurateurs on the back end that we were able to get through from the Hospitality Association, coming together and taking their time to critique and get this legislation passed at the county level. I'll tell you, this program came together in a span of about 2 weeks, and if you know the government moves at the speed of government. And so that's a really snail's pace normally. And so to have something come together so quickly and really make an impact on our industry has been, just phenomenal. 2 weeks turnaround to get it from idea to creative creation to passing and signed by the executive. And really just kudos to everybody. And we're really hoping this program does make an impact, especially in light of the recent announcement by the governor. So looking for more impacts we can have in the future, and really thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, very, very nimble, and kudos to you, Sarah, and your department. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the details that I think everybody wants to know about with regards to reimbursement. And there was some pretty exciting news earlier in the week. Sarah, do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, along with the announcement of further restrictions placed on the restaurants by the governor, obviously the council and others understood what the impacts of that would be while the restaurant rally rolled on, and has been, obviously through today. It was exciting news that the council decided to reimburse at 100% of gross sales instead of 50. And that was, of course, excluding alcohol and third-party delivery services. So hopefully everyone will, get all their stuff in well before the deadline so that we can get that stuff processed and out to everyone, payments.
So let's go ahead, and Sarah, I'll hand it off to you to go ahead and kind of walk folks through the thing. One thing I do want to just clarify, I think it'll be helpful because folks may have questions along the way. And I think questions about the reimbursement process should be sent to your department. Tomorrow Farrell is the account coordinator serving Tacoma Pierce County with the Washington Hospitality Association. She's the colleague and professional that helps you with your business. But with regards to this program and the implementation and the reimbursement of this program, those questions would go to your department, correct?
Yes.
But anything else with regards to how they're operating their business, that's where tomorrow is their contact. So I'm sure that her name is in their inbox. So with that, Sarah, I'll go ahead and have you hand it off on the walkthrough on the process.
Okay, so you all have been giving your discounts. So then what? How do you let the county know? How do you submit that to us? So I'm gonna, let's see, share my screen. And oh, is that coming through? Do you see? Okay, so this is an excerpt, part of a document that we had provided to all participating restaurants. And in its form, it is simple, but I know there are differences with how POS systems work and what types of reports restaurants can do. But the very basics that you need to submit to us would include your report of gross sales, and that excludes alcohol and sales by third-party delivery. And then you need to show in your reporting what your discounts were. And you will also report the number of customers that received the discount. We're wanting to get an idea of how much traffic, how many people, customers the restaurants see throughout the promotion. And there are some different types of documentation that you can include. And I know you all have different systems, but POS reports, any type of Z-out reports, Square reports, and there are a number of others I know that people are using. As long as it shows the backup of what you're reporting on your form, that is acceptable documentation. We also have simplified things for those of you who may not be able to issue such a report, and that would be a daily, weekly tally. And we had provided a template for you to look at and be able to tally your gross sales, excluding alcohol and third-party delivery, and also tally your discounts and customers on a daily basis during the days of the promotion. We do not want individual receipts. So to the best of your ability, just to, take all those together and tally them on a spreadsheet such as the one we provided, or of course provide your reports. So you will submit 2 forms in total, and those have come out separately via email, and you can follow up with me after the webinar if you haven't received those, or they could have gone into your spam folders. It's possible. They would be coming from the PC Restaurant Rally at piercecountywa.gov inbox or mailbox. And so the dates spanning the promotion periods, November 8th through 12th and 15th through 19th. Obviously, we're right in the midst of the first stretch of reporting. And so we had asked for that to be to us by Monday, just so that we can get underway with processing. And as soon as we can get the processing, then the sooner folks will have their reimbursements. And there is a link that we provided to go to the online form, which I'll show you in just a moment. And then we are asking for both forms to be submitted no later than Tuesday, November 24th. So that's coming up fast and furious. I know we got a holiday thrown in there next week. So really what we want to do is get everything in as soon as possible so that we can then get things back out as soon as possible to everyone. So in regards to the form itself, that link goes to an online form where you will be asked for your information, including application number. And if you don't have that, I can provide it. Would be on your original email from us. But that's hard to track down. Just shoot me an email and I can provide that. Obviously the contact information. This area here is the sum total of your gross sales, and that is excluding alcohol and sales via third-party delivery services. So that number that you put in there, if you have a gross sale on your report, you need to make sure you subtract out all the alcohol sales, third-party delivery services when you enter the amount in here. And then conversely, you'll have your total amount of discounts given, and then you'll enter that here, and then you'll upload your documents, supporting documents, a spreadsheet, PDF of your reports, and then enter your customer served, certify, and sign. And those are really the basics of the process. And I know I didn't dive into too many individual details, but if there are overall questions that people have, or specific things that I did not answer, I'm available to answer those either in this forum, or shoot me an email or give me a call. I'm happy to help.
Sure. And if folks have any questions in the chat, go ahead and. So where do you expect to be the area of the greatest area of questions at folks? It seems pretty straightforward, but it's not rigid.
Yeah, right. I think just individual challenges and what type of reporting that they may have to make sure that it provides the information that we need. So it's also helpful on the documents that you're providing. If it's not obvious what the tallies are of the different pieces, tally up what the gross sales that weren't alcohol, so the food sales. Oh, and also you don't want to put any merchandise sales would not be included in that also, or gift card sales, none of that. So basically food and non-alcoholic beverage sales. So just kind of, if you can do a tally of that to help it be, more clearly evident what the amounts are minus alcohol.
Sarah, it looks like we have a question in the chat from Mark, who says, according to our POS, our total gross sales minus alcohol and third party versus total discounts is not adding up to exactly 30% due to some non-discounted sales due to server error otherwise. He says, I assume any undiscounted sales are ineligible for reimbursement.
Correct. Yeah. So it's 30% of the 30% should be of the gross sales that are eligible through the program.
So he says, will they have to create a separate spreadsheet to include only 30% discounted items for reimbursement reporting purposes, correct? He wants to know if that's acceptable.
Yes.
Backup from POS.
That is acceptable, or if it's within the report itself, you can, make notes or line items of what those items were or changes are into the reports. So we want to be somewhat flexible to get the information that we need. as soon as possible so that we can process.
Yeah, and again, I think the key date in mind is that November 24th, which, as you mentioned, is kind of, that's a pretty hard and fast deadline. In order to get this
Well, it is, and we just need people to get that in by that deadline. That's going to offer the best case scenario for getting all this accomplished in a timely manner. The other thing I would say, you are welcome to, in regards to this question that was asked, if it's the tally on this, and I'm still screen sharing. Okay, so this is the very simple tally spreadsheet that we provided. That basically, if what you need to do is just enter the amount of the gross sales after you have subtracted out the alcohol and third-party delivery, and then what the total discounts that day were given, this will is acceptable. This type of document is acceptable. That's a simpler way for people to tally what it is that they have each day.
Any other questions in the chat? Going through this, I think that the program was pretty straightforward, but as anything new, you always have questions. Let's see, it looks like that we do have.
I don't understand what the question is. Our gross sales in excess of 30% personnel.
Mark, can you maybe in the chat explain a little bit more about what your question is? The question that has been asked is, are gross sales in excess of 30% reimbursable?
So I could just reiterate that the reimbursement is 100% of the gross sales you report.
Yeah.
And then the discounts you're reporting are the 30% given.
It says employee meals are
it's only the restaurant rally discounting that you're reporting.
So in other words,
so if you're giving it's for customers giving, you're giving them the restaurant rally discount for customers.
Does that make it clear, Mark? It's only those customers that walk in the door
that you give the discount.
Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
But that's a good question.
Yeah,
it's a very, very good question, Mark. So what are some of the other, as you've gone through the program, Sara, any other questions that popped up? I think it went pretty smoothly, launching a program this quickly and getting what we had 250 restaurateurs in Pierce County.
Yeah, around 280.
Yeah.
When all said and done, yeah.
So launching a program to reimburse through a county federal mechanism of 280 restaurateurs within just weeks of inception is pretty impressive. It went pretty smoothly though, I think, don't you think?
Yeah, all things considered, for the first time out doing something like this, and I guess I would attribute that to the great leadership and the partnerships, because you got to all work together to make something like this get off the ground and get implemented. And now we're on the final stretch here of the last day of the promo. So I hope the last day's good, even though I know it's takeout, takeout only and some outdoor dining. So I'm hoping folks come out and support the restaurants today for their lunch and their dinner takeout.
Yeah, and that's that. I think I've heard that people have responded throughout the county. And so I'm going to ask, while we wait, if anybody else has any other questions. One thing that I would encourage the restaurateurs on the call and anyone listening to this webinar is, this, as we've mentioned, was a great partnership that came together as a result of the organizations involved being nimble and willing and dedicated to the restaurant industry, understanding the impact that our restaurateurs have on the economic viability of Tacoma and Pierce County. So to that end, please feel free to post on social media that you were a participant, and what this means to you and your business. The intent of the program was to help restaurateurs, and Anthony Antone is, I'll mention, bring him in again. Anthony, do you want to say a little bit about that with regards to the restaurateurs that you are talking to all across Tacoma and Pierce County, and of course the state? Sarah, you and Joe as well. What have you heard, and that syncs up with the goal of the program and our desire to help restaurateurs in a really difficult time of a pandemic?
Well, I think the reason we did the program was to do exactly what we accomplished, which is to remind people restaurants are safe, demonstrate how safe we are to do business in, support your local small businesses, and get people back out supporting their local restaurants, and get some energy around that after a long summer. And I think we saw the literally rally people around our restaurants in Pierce County. Saw a lot of full dining rooms. Heard a lot of good stories of people who I hadn't been out, but thank you for getting me out and back out to see our local small businesses. And from that perspective, it accomplished its goal. And the county council, rethinking, given the announcements and stuff, of how we can help all these operators through it, and what the work that they did to further support operators. So it shows, again, I think Joe mentioned the Pierce County way, but we should not be fighting each other. I think when the chambers and the DMO, the visitor convention bureaus, and the county council and the city council and everybody else comes together and says, how do we help? What's the right plan? I think we came up with one. So appreciate that.
Yeah,
So,
we've received just a lot of positive feedback from the folks that we've heard from participating in the program, just how meaningful it is to them, obviously their bottom line, and just being shown that there's a partnership here in Pierce County that has their industry in mind, and we hear it, we understand the impacts, and that we're doing what we can to help support the restaurant industry.
Well, thanks to the county's dynamic leadership, County Exec Dan Meyer, Betty Capistrani, the county council members, and all the business support organizations are rallied behind it to make it happen. So it's a positive.
And I think also, I really do want to mention also the work that Joe Bushnell is doing, working with restaurateurs as our members, representing them, and Tomorrow Farrell as well, just as direct contact to make sure that the program worked. And again, Anthony, you mentioned the restaurateurs that talk through the ins and outs of a prospective program on the front end. And those are the folks that really made sure that this program was developed to meet the needs of restaurateurs, so that it was restaurant operators actually that were driving it. And I think that's an important point. I do want to mention that we have another question in the chat from Steve. He said, just to be clear, we are not being reimbursed for third-party sales today or yesterday, as we were forced to close. That is correct.
But you are getting 100%.
Yes.
Instead of 50 of the gross sales you report, excluding alcohol and third-party delivery.
Okay.
Just one more call for questions. Anthony, did you have any?
No, I was going to say thanks everyone. Good luck. I know these are hard times, and Sarah will help you with any questions for the programs. Joe and Tomorrow on our team. If you don't know Tomorrow, we're working on everything we can to provide relief, and we're thinking about you and your team in this brutal time. So we won't stop fighting or working to collaborate to find ways to help you succeed. So with that, I'm gonna check out and say thanks again to everybody. Good luck and be safe.